This is Professor Papier Bernstein, and welcome to Summer Session 2017, SPV 429, Organization of School-Based Speech and Speech Therapy Programs. And this is the first summer session, June 5th through June 29th. And the purpose of this lecture is to be certain that you are clear from the get-go about the content and how the materials are organized. So it's really for your benefit that I'm doing this, and I certainly hope that you all listen to it. Any questions that you have should be posted on one of the discussion boards that we call Q&A, rather than emailing me so that all students can see this. So I'm looking at the first document, which is the syllabus document, and it's great if you follow along and open the document. I have the required textbook on there, which I have already emailed to you, and it talks about how the course is organized, how you're graded, the fact that your written English skills will impact your grade, that an online course is all based upon written work and meeting deadlines, and those two elements are very actively built into my online courses. The most important thing, or one of the most important things for you to know, is that this course is divided into 5 segments of approximately 5 days each. And on this syllabus document, it tells you that segment 1 is from Monday, June 5th through Friday, June 9th, etc. It also, in addition to listing the dates, it gives you what the requirements are for each segment, what the textbook readings are, what the external links are, what the discussion boards are, and what the assignment is. And each one of these refers you to another document. So that's basically what the syllabus is, and it goes through the 5 segments. The syllabus also contains the summary questions for each chapter, which you are not required to answer, but they're put here just to let you know what the expectations are for you to know in terms of the syllabus from each chapter that you read in the required textbook. And I really recommend this textbook. I think it's very user-friendly or reader-friendly. So that's the syllabus. Let's go to the course orientation, which is an introduction to you. I also have some of this information repeated. I talk about the 5 segments and what's included. I will communicate with you through ongoing announcements. I talk to you about what the discussion board is. I describe what the course is, and it's really an introduction about the course. Then we have, under course documents, something that corresponds to your journals. And it talks about the fact that there are 3 required journals and that they relate to something under called a therapy session. You really have to have it in front of you to understand it, but it's all linked together, and then you follow along with an external link which basically has a lecture. So there are 3 lectures of mine that correspond, and if you just follow the instructions, which are very clearly stated, it tells you exactly what to do. Again, if you have any questions whatsoever, please post it on the Q&A discussion board. Then the next document that I would like to go through is the assignments document, and this is going to be loaded as assignments, so you will be able to load your assignments directly onto Blackboard. And I go through each of the 5 assignments. There's a due date. Each assignment is due on the last date of the segment. They're all due at 11:55, right before midnight, right before the day changes. And I think, again, that these are pretty self-explanatory, so I don't want to take up the time and read each one. I don't like when people read me things, so I don't like to do that to students either. Please note that there's a word minimum, and I have only done this after many years of teaching this course online, and students ask me to please put a word minimum on. So the minimum is 450 words. If you supply something with 250 words, be sure that you're not going to get full credit. Okay, so that's the assignments. Please note that for assignment number 2, which is all about finding resources, it has to do with finding a website. And there's a discussion board that's linked to this where I ask that you post the name of your website so that other students know what you're choosing. It's actually 2 websites, and that they do not choose the same websites, because I will then make up a master list, and you'll have a list of a lot, depending upon how many students are in the course, a lot of different very useful websites. So that is the assignment. Let's go on to the discussion board document. Again, everything is listed. I've made a kind of a grading scale so that you're clear about what needs to be done. For discussion boards 1 through 5, and they're all numbered, you have to make 3 substantive postings. 1 in response to the topic, and I will have a starter post there, and the other 2 in response to discussion points made by other students. If you do not do that, and each one has to be on a separate date, it's stated right there, you will definitely lose points. Okay, so again, you need to read carefully what the directions are. I've tried to make things as clear as possible. However, if they're not, please post on the Q&A discussion board. The discussion boards will close when that period is over. I will reopen them several days later after the grading is done so that you have access to the information. So starting from the beginning, the discussion board, and I've mentioned this several times, there's a Q&A, and I want you to use this forum to post any questions that you have about the course, the requirements, anything that's not clear. The purpose of it is for other students to be able to read your questions and my answers, and you can also answer, assuming that you have thoughts about what the answer might be. I will check it several times a day. It's going to be open throughout the course, and it is not graded. The next discussion board, also open throughout the course and not graded, is what we call a cyber cafe, and this is really a casual forum for you to socialize, digress, off-topic comments. In my own training with online education, my professor suggested that students really appreciate having something like this. So it's on there. Not many students use it. Some semesters, others, they're very busy on it. So it really depends upon you. Then here is that the next discussion board is called assignment number 2 websites. I already mentioned that when I was talking about the assignments. The purpose is to simply let you know what websites have been chosen by other students. Please, all you need to do is post the names of your websites. This is not the place for you to post the assignment. And do not choose a website that has already been posted. So if you have strong feelings about the websites you would like to use for this assignment, it's always a good idea to post early rather than later. This is going to be open throughout the time that the second assignment is due. Then you have discussion board A, and this is really the first graded. Oh, and by the way, the assignment number 2 website is not graded either. This now, DB number A, is graded 2 points, and it's simply introductions. It will serve to introduce everyone who is taking the course. Your posting is due the 7th. It's really the only thing that's due outside of the 5 segments. So I just want you all to do this within the first 2 days of the course. Now, the next 5 discussion boards are the real substantive and content-related discussion boards of the course. So there are 5 of them. They all correspond to readings, and they also correspond to some of the links in there, so you might want to cover. I don't specifically list them, but they're listed according to the topic. So you might want to look at some of the links and include comments about the links as well. Okay, I think it'll make it more interesting for all of you. but it's primarily based upon your chapter readings. The next that I would like to go through, the next document, is called grading, and it just lists everything that is graded. Discussion boards, assignments, journals, final examination, which will be 33 points, and it will be posted very early during your last segment. So you'll have a number of days. Your last segment, by the way, ends a day before the final exam is due. So you will notice that when you look at the grading, everything adds up to 100 points, and you will be able to follow along with how you're doing in the course. And of course, I will be available for any questions on an ongoing basis. I will be on every day. If we look, I just want to look at the orientation again because I wrote about this. I tell you that online courses tend to be writing intensive. They tend to be student centered, with many opportunities for you to take initiative and lead discussions and contribute your own thoughts and feelings. And the professor takes on more of a facilitator role and monitoring all of the segments, and grading, and then having discussions with you about that. So, sometimes online courses tend to be more challenging than traditional courses because your involvement really has to be very disciplined and consistent throughout the intersession semester, and you have to really be proactive. And you certainly, the advantage is you don't have to come to campus, but you really do need to spend a minimum of 20 hours a week dedicated to an online course like this, which is, pretty much a 4-week course. So that's what it takes. And that's one of the reasons that I do check for digital attendance. I want to see that you're on pretty much, at least 3 days during each segment, which you have to be in order to get full credit for your discussions. And I wish you were here and I can say, are there any questions? But all I can do is ask my dog, who's actually not in this room. So at any rate, I will be checking in with you, and this will be posted. I'm not sure exactly where yet, but I'd like for you to check it the first day of the course. Just listen to it, go through all the documents, and then put your questions online because it goes really, really quickly. Okay, folks, over and out. Have a great day.